I've been fascinated with psychic anomalies since I was a child because I experienced them since I was a child. I always compare it to, well, slides on a film reel, basically. It's like a downloading process. All psychic and intuitive information is received in the right hemisphere of the brain. So when I sit down with someone, I just simply observe what pictures come into my mind. Now, the human brain, when we experience or feel energy around us, it's visual. It needs to put imagery to something. So what we have when we feel energetically, we feel the presence of someone around us that we knew that passed on. What they really exist as, to me, they're like different radio frequencies or stations moving around us. Our brain puts images to any type of energy it perceives it needs to. What we are experiencing is a connection with a real-time progressive community of current beings who are there. And that rather than it being like certain ones of them coming here to visit us, we are, in fact, kind of raising an antenna into this realm of where they're all existing together. And again, realm, dimension, frequency, they're just less molecularly dense than we are. They try to make contact or connect with us to help us with our mourning and with our grieving, and absolutely to help us with our lives. So if they can get through, whatever we want to call this, interdimensional communication, whatever we want to call it, if they can manage to do that, and they can say, hey, your lawsuits are going to be settled by February, they're going to try to do that. So that's behind a lot of the messages that come through in a typical reading. They don't have a need for closure. They don't care what we do with their stuff. And in terms of those things, they understand that it's a very much a human affair. They empathize with us because of our need for closure, but I've never been in a situation where I've been doing a reading and someone has come through from the other side and said, I'm really unhappy about what suit you buried me in. I'm unhappy about you selling the property. I'm unhappy that my brother got half my money. They detach from that almost because it's irrelevant to them. They only pay attention because of our emotional processes around those things. I'll have people sit right in front of me and say, that's wrong, it doesn't make sense. I'm like, okay. And I get enough of those emails back saying, now I understand what that was. So you learn to, this might sound funny, but you learn to detach from whether people believe you or not. As a matter of fact, I'd say that's one of the most fundamental facets of what I do. Even the person I'm reading. It's certainly not a lack of caring about their experience. I want to give them the best information that I can. And if I'm concerned over whether or not they are accepting of or believe that information, I'm actually not doing my best. I don't feel a burden of proof, because I'm not putting out there that this is exactly what I'm doing. This is exactly what this is. What I'm sharing is that I have a process. For some reason, my mind is able to do this. I work on it as a skill. I work on trusting the first things that come into my mind, and I put it forward to the person. And I think it's up to them to decide what they feel it is. If I move through life feeling more connected to the universe, my own intuition, more connected to other people, if I find some superpowers while I'm here and do some things that inspire other people, then it doesn't really matter to me if it's real. I've started to look at it being more important to look at whether it works or not. The big theory is, get an afterlife. And I say kind of worry about today. Concern yourself with today. We'll find out when we get there.